So functional group, okay, if we talk about the functional group, atom or group of atoms which give all properties to a compound. Okay, so functional group is a major entity. If you say, it is very important for any of a compound, okay, which is any chemical properties, any chemical properties of any compound is represented by it. Okay, this functional group. Suppose I'm just write a name here, okay, randomly. You can also write it for just understanding it, what you have to understand in this chapter, okay, about functional group. So suppose there is a name 2-chloropropane 1-oic acid. Okay, this is a random name, you have to understand. Okay, a random name is taken in which 2-chloropropane 1-oic acid is here. Okay, so what you have to understand, the 2-chloro means, okay, the 2-chloro means is substituent prefix. Okay, it is known as chloro. Okay, chloro, bromo, iodo. Okay, these are the substituent prefix. Actually they also uh, functions as a functional group when we will read after that, but IUPAC not considered them. Okay, IUPAC consider them as only substituent prefix. Okay, then you see here prop is a root word. Okay, prop is a root word as math, as prop, but, pant, you have read. Okay, C1 means math. Okay, methane, ethane, you have read it already. Okay, so here prop is a root word. Okay, I hope you understand till here. Then is written ane. Okay, ane is represented to alkane. It means it is a alkane. If I see in a full propane, it is a alkane. And if it is a propene, it means, you can see, whenever there is a ane, there is a single bond structure. Ene means double bond structure, and ine is a triple bond structure. It is represented as here. Okay, you can say that these hydrocarbons. Okay, hydrocarbons attached to this root word. Okay, in this ane is attached, it means alkane attached. Okay, these things we already discussed in the previous classes. What we have now discussed, this oic acid. Okay, as it written here, like dot like structure, oic acid. Oic acid represented here, as you know that oic acid is known as carboxylic acid. Okay, this carboxylic acid which is attached to this name of that compound is known as secondary suffix. Okay, sorry, I forget to tell you that these are the primary, called as primary suffix. Okay, these alkane, alkene, alkynes, these are known as primary suffix, and these carboxylic acid which is attached in the last of that name is known as secondary suffix. And this secondary suffix which I have to which I have to study today, these are known as the functional group. Okay, so in last, okay, as you know that hero is always take entry in the last sometime. Okay, so this was the main, you can say that these are the main actors of this uh, chemistry, organic chemistry. Okay, which come in the last of that any of compound. Okay, because they contain all properties of a compound, any chemical property represented by them. Okay, so these secondary suffix is known as functional group, which we have to study today. Okay, so majority of reactions take place in functional groups only. Okay, this is the main thing. Now you have to understand what are the different types of functional groups are present. Okay, so this is a table in which we discuss about the different type of functional group. Okay, so first you have to write the functional group, their structure and secondary suffix is given here. First you have to understand the first is here alcohol. Okay, alcohol represented by the simple word ROH. Its structure is like that, ROH only. Okay, this is only 30-40 minutes class, that's why I have already made them notes in the proper, I have to note written that. Okay, OH. Okay, ROH represented. R is represented by alkyl group. Alkyl group may be CS3, C2H5. Okay, any alkyl group is represented here. Okay, meth, prop, whatever you are, methane, ethane, propane. Okay, so these alkyl group will be present here. Okay, so secondary suffix is used for alcohol is all. Okay, this is the all thing. Secondary suffix is used here all whenever you read about butanol, ethanol till now. Okay, all suffix is here. Now second functional group is aldehyde. Okay, aldehyde, if you see, whenever you make these things, students, you just remember one thing, how they resemble with each other. Okay, what the difference between them, this is the only thing to understand them. You can see RC double bond OH here. Okay, in between ROH there is a carbon will be present here if we compare with the alcohol. Okay, so it is written as RC double bond OH. Okay, it is represented by L. Now you can easily understand ketone if you compare these two. Okay, there is a minute difference between them. Okay, RC double bond R dash when there is another alkyl group here. Okay, when there is no hydrogen, okay, in the compound, in the structure of a compound, it means it is a ketone. So you have to, for identification, okay, what are these ketone or aldehyde, you have to understand them, and these are represented by the suffix on. Okay, these are known as, that's why ketone. Okay, this is the difference between them. When hydrogen is present there, okay, I am telling you, repeating, because these are very understand, you have to understand them very carefully. Okay, aldehyde means RC double bond OH. Okay, H is, if H represented, it represented aldehyde. Okay, and represented at L. And if we talk about ketone, it is represented by on. Okay, then one other thing, okay, I have to written here somehow in just beneath the alcohol, because ether are resemble with the alcohol. Okay, if you see ROR dash here, okay, ROR dash here, one alkyl group is here, instead of H there is a second alkyl group. Okay, so whenever there is alkyl group here, it means it is a ether, and it's written as alkoxyalkane. Okay, this is the only method to understand them, to memorize them. You have to memorize them. These are written as alkoxyalkane. Okay, whenever you have to write them IPC name, okay, these are represented as alkoxyalkane. Okay, sometimes students are asked that sir, how can we remember these names? Okay, so I just tell them that whenever you play free fire and the PUBG is banned now, so you have to remember the names there also, so you can give times to chemistry. Okay, and then try to understand here also, so you have to memorize them. Thioalcohol, okay, little bit thing you have to keep in mind, and little bit you can understand by their structure only. Now if we talk about thio represent always the sulfur here. Okay, if you see, thioalcohol means here R instead of oxygen, okay, sulfur is present here, and RSH, one hydrogen is there. ROH in alcohol, okay, so there RSH in thiol alcohol, and it represented as thiol. Okay, then thioether is come. Okay, thioether means RS R dash here. Thioether, okay, ether is represented by ROR. Compare these two. Okay, ROR, and it's represented as, which means thio here, RS R dash. Okay, and it is represented as alkyl thioalkane. Okay, if we talk about ether, it is not, it is the substituent is as alkoxyalkane, and the secondary substituent used for the thioether is alkyl thioalkane. Okay, you have to remember these two things. Now one other thing is there, amine. Okay, if we talk about the amine, it is mainly 1 degree amine. Okay, and it is represented by simply RNS2. Okay, amine. These three are less populated okay, group. Okay, they are generally not asked in exams, so you have to just remember them. Okay, it can be helpful for your next classes also. Okay, so when we talk about the 1 degree amine, it means only one alkyl group is present here with the N. Okay, and two hydrogen is present. If we remove this one hydrogen and replace by one alkyl group here, okay, and it is known as now 2nd degree amine. Okay, you will read in the next classes. Now the king of the functional groups come, which is known as carboxylic acids. Okay, carboxylic acid is represented by RC double bond O. Okay, then single bond OH, RCOOH. It is represented by the oic acid, and it pronounced by the name oic acid. Secondary suffix is used for oic acid. Okay, so carboxylic acid make many type of derivatives also. Okay, these are also act as a functional groups. So if we talk about the derivatives of carboxylic acid, first one is acid halide. Okay, student, just kept in mind how they are formed. Okay, what is the difference between their actual formula and their derivatives? Okay, when we talk about the acid halide, it means in carboxylic acid one halide group is attached. Okay, so you can see here RCOO, here X is attached here. Okay, so it means instead of OH here X represented the halogens. Okay, chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, you can write anything here, and it is known as oil halide. Okay, OYL halide. When we talk that the oil chloride, oil bromide, oil iodide, oil fluoride, so on. Okay, then it is made by the removal of H2O. Okay, when we react this acid with any halide, okay, HX is represented here H, and HCl, HBr, anything, and we have to remove one H2O from it, and this will be make here. Then acid amide is represented to NH2. Okay, when we combine this with NH3, okay, ammonia, and one hydrogen, water group we have to remove, and this RCO NH2 is formed here, and it is known as amide group. Okay, it is represented by the amide. Then ester also formed by this carboxylic acid. When this carboxylic acid react with alcohol, okay, one molecule of water is removed, and this RCOO dash, you can see here RCOO dash, alkyl alkonate, it is represented by the alkyl alkanoate. Okay, then acid anhydride. Okay, it is just you can see in your book, it is whenever come to the higher classes, it is just represented at. Okay, so I afraid you, this is nothing in which it is the two acid joining here. Okay, and one H2O here, you can see here, suppose there are COH, you can write it at R dash COO, another group you have to attach. Okay, and you have to remove one H2O from here. Okay, one H2O you have to remove, then you can write it as, okay, then you can write it as RCOO, RCO dash. Okay, you have to remove one H2O. These are two carboxylic acid represented in here, and you have to remove one H2O molecule only, and you can write it as, and it is known as alkanoic anhydride. Okay, its name is alkanoic anhydride. Okay, then the next is cyanide. Cyanide is represented by the RC, okay, triple bond N. It is known as the nitrile. Okay, when you see the structure cyanide, you have to understand that one difference is here. Till now we read about the same thing, but you have to understand that its secondary suffix is something different. It is represented by the nitrile. Okay, you can understand them by understanding this. It is nitrogen is present here, so it is known as nitrile. Then iso means same. Okay, isomers, we talk about the isomers, so it is the isomers of cyanide where the position is changed only. Okay, R and triple bond C. Okay, the position of interchange here. Okay, position of nitrogen carbon interchange here, that's why it is known as isonitrile. Okay, isonitrile. Other functional groups are also there, okay, but not included in IUPAC. Okay, these functional groups are not present in IUPAC system, but they act as a functional group. Okay, as you know that nitro group R and O2. Okay, nitro also a functional group, but this is not represented by IUPAC name in a secondary suffix. Okay, alkyl halide also. Okay, alkyl halide, that RCl, RBr, RI. Okay, it means RX, represented by alkyl halide RX. So these are also act as functional group. This is just for your information, but these are not uh, kept in IUPAC names. Okay, IUPAC don't think them as a functional group. They always represent the substituent only. Okay, same as alkene and alkyne also represent the functional group. Okay, but they are also considered as substituent by the IUPAC. Okay, so this is the all thing about the IUPAC name. Okay, sorry, functional groups, which you have to understand them. Okay, you have to read them, and carefully you have to understand. If you understand this thing, whatever I explained earlier, so So you can easily for this, what are they? These two chloropropane, one oic acid. Okay, so these are the secondary suffix, and these are the structure which you have to remember in your mind. Okay, practice them, and make every time whenever you write carboxylic acid, try to make its structure also. Okay, whenever you write a equation, so these are helpful for you to understand their structure and to keep in mind.